What up, guys? Jason Geiman here with King of Pressure Wash, and tonight we are going to talk about why most businesses fail. And I was watching on Facebook, and someone had asked of why is it that most people fail, and why do you see so much equipment for sale right now? And so those are some things I'm going to hit on as I talk here, as we get going here. I actually forgot to share out my live, and so that's what I need to do here real quick. Share this out. If you didn't know and you wanted to know when I go live, you can actually text the word King, K-I-N-G, to 859 696 1101. Somewhere I got it on here. And this is a way that you can do this so that way you can know when I go live. And so, but you know, I seen John. John is a great guy. If you don't know who John Tornabini is, he runs a pressure washing group. He's a awesome dude. He's been in business for a long time. He's one of the OGs out there. And he was asking, why is it that people are going out of business so much? Going live. Sorry about that. Why is it that people are going out of business and you see so much equipment for sale right now? And so that's what I really want to hit on tonight, of why is it that people can't stay in business? And so I know a lot of times it is, there's several things that can cause this to happen. You know, I want to hit a little story here of when I first started. There was these things called forums, and they were way worse than the pressure washing groups, the YouTubes. There was none of this stuff out there in 2012, 2013 when I started my business. And so when we started, it's hard, right? A lot of times you see people on here saying it's easy, anybody can do it. And yes, that is true. Anybody can do it, but it's not easy, right? There's going to be nights that you got to stay up. There's going to be things that you're going to have to do to make things happen. And so these are things as you grow a business that make it hard. So when I was starting out, you know, I got my mentor that I learned a lot from. His name was Michael Kreisley. Michael Kreisley was actually out of Lexington, Kentucky. And this YouTube, I actually bought it off of him. And so I had my personal YouTube and it was at like 500 subscribers. And this one, when I started and bought his website and the channel, he was at like 2,300 subscribers. So I went with his and kept growing that channel. And so, you know, as I was learning, you know, I remember the days of, why won't the phone ring? You know, I tell the story about when I got my business started. You know, I went to the huge convention and they were raving about this one person. If you give her $4,000, you'll get this amazing website. She'll do all this amazing stuff. And at the end of it, my phone never rang out of it. And so that's what I want to hit on quite a bit tonight, of why you will fail and the ways that can keep you from not failing, right? Because a lot of times I feel like we get a lot of complaints and we get a lot of different things of why things won't happen. And, you know, it only, you know, whatever reason is. But again, it's things about what you need to do to be able to keep growing your business. And so for that, the book of the week I have this week is going to be $100 million leads, right? Because if we don't know how to get leads, then how can we get busy and how can we stay busy? And so that's my book for you this week, is $100 million leads. If you don't have the money to buy this book, you can go on YouTube and find $100 million leads. It's on there. You can go on to his podcast, Alex Hermosi's podcast, The Game, and look it up there. And you can get the free version of this book if you can't afford to listen to the audio book. It is a free version of it out there. So I don't want to hear excuses of why you can't do something, because it is out there, and that's how I want to make sure that you can grow your business and you are going to do amazing. So with that, we got Big George in the house. How are you doing, Mr. George? Big time. He actually came to one of my classes in Raleigh about 2 or 3 years ago. Great guy. We got Fresh Rents in the house. Fresh Prince, if you're from the 90s, you might know who that is. Or otherwise it's Fresh Rents. He's actually was my competitor at the dam. He was one of my competitors. Benjamin Gregory was one of my competitors, and I don't really call them competitors. I've never had no ill will against anybody, right? It's all about there's enough money out there to be made, so make sure you go out there and make it. Hi, everyone from Bay Exterior Cleaning. We got Mr. David Watts in the house. Lights out in the mix. What's up, Jason? What's up, Mr. Artie? Hey, everybody. Happy Mother's Day for sure. Make sure that you send your mother a message if you know who she is, hopefully. I know some people don't, but if you do, make sure you send them. Make sure you appreciate them. Been open for 4 months and business is slow. Turns out most people in the town think it's just spraying water. And so them are some mindsets that we have to think about, and we will hit on why it might be slow. It's About Time. Great book. Miss Lucky Lindy. She's been on fire here lately. I think they just raised their goal to $800,000 just in pressure washing. That was, I believe, their goal for pressure washing and Christmas lights. So at that point, they should hit $1 million in their pressure washing business. And so that is really cool for what you got there. We got Mr. Tristan in the house. I love Tristan. He's an awesome young entrepreneur that goes out there and killing it. He just sent me a picture of his third property that they're going to buy. It's a commercial property, all by just being a little old pressure washer. And that is the awesome thing about what you can do with the pressure washing business. We got Michael with Precision Pro Wash. How are you doing? What's up, Seizure? And then, hey, from DFW, Texas. Well, that's where Mr. Tristan is also. Good evening, live from Florida, Miami, Florida. We like more in Florida. And then we got hello. Got my 270th review today. August 1st will be 3 years in business, feeling blessed. That's an awesome thing to be able to get to 300 reviews and more. That will be my next book. Listen to the first. Yep. All right. So, like I said the other day, actually today, John Tornabini posted about why is there so much equipment for sale and why is it you see so many people going out of business. And I love the first comment that usually comes out of people's mouth is because there's so many gurus out there and there's so many new pressure washers coming in business every day. And I want to tell you something, that ain't nothing new. Every year, there's 100 pressure washers that will come into business and 80 of them will go back out of business within the first year or more. And it's probably more. So that is definitely something that as we are watching, as I watch the market grow and as I see this, I see a lot of people come in because they think it's easy. A lot of people come into this business because they think that it's just spraying water and that if they become the best spraying water person, then the business will just flood in. Well, I just wanted to let you know something. It don't work that way. If you think it works that way, then I'm telling you, the people in the room in here that I see, Lucky Lindy right here, she just doesn't sit on her hands and think that the phone's going to ring and they're going to get to $800,000. I promise you it does not work this way. She's working her butt off on LinkedIn, on yard signs, on all the things that get the phone to ring. I see a lot of people wondering why can't my phone ring? Why won't my phone ring, Jason? Well, what are you doing? If you want to make $100,000, that means you got to spend at least $10,000 in marketing. And guess what? Just because you pay somebody $5,000 in a website, that doesn't mean that that's going to bring you $100,000 worth of business. In fact, I would promise you it probably won't until year 2, year 3, year 4. So a lot of people will push you to buy these big websites, and I'm just letting you know that a website is not going to make you all the money. Now, do you need a website? Yes. And here's why you need a website. Does it have to be pretty? No. It needs to have here for your Google My Business, because Google My Business has been cracking down really hard here within the last couple of weeks. In fact, in my mentorship, I kind of talked about it quite a bit. Last week, we had a kid on here. Nathan was talking about it. He messaged me. He knew 5 people that had gotten their Google My Business suspended. His second Google My Business got suspended. I knew, and then I talked about it in our membership call, and that night somebody's got suspended. And so these are things that are real, that happen, and these are how you are going to have to be able to do this. So what's making me make this video? Well, I want to let you know something. When I first started my pressure washing business, I was the $99 guy. I actually used Groupon, and Groupon is you would tell them that they would sell a house wash for $200, and they got $100, and I got $100. Well, that sucked. So when people tried to call me and ask about it, then I would try to sell them of how to be able to get me instead of somebody else, right? Because that's not why I wanted to have them to do my business. And then, like I said, everybody was the guru of using the website to use this person, use the person, gave them $4,000, and I never got crap off of that website. And so as that was the thing that got me to start learning about marketing. How do I market better, and how do I spend money on myself to market? And now I've probably spent $40,000 to $50,000 in myself learning how to do marketing, because marketing is a big part of why this business will stay in business versus it won't. So that is why it is important that we do this. Do I remember sitting around thinking, why won't this phone ring? Why won't this phone ring? Yes, I did. But you know what I did? I took action. I went out and I bought yard signs. And I know I push yard signs a lot. And I know people will tell me, well, Jason, they get pulled up in 2 days. Who cares if they get pulled up in 1 day? If they make one phone call that closes a $500 job, then it's worth it. And I will about guarantee you that if you put out 100 yard signs, you will get more calls and you will get more phone calls. Now, it is the part of being consistent. You have to be consistent, and you have to be relentless. You have to do this. You know, I had Jason Hefner on here a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about how he's going to do over $300,000. He still goes out and puts yard signs out every Friday night at like 2:00 in the morning, Saturday night or Saturday morning, Friday night, whatever, before he goes into the firehouse or before he does it, right? Because he knows he's got to be consistent. Even when you don't want to, you got to go out there and put those money bushes in. You got to go do those lives. You got to go do those things that will help you set you up for success. So, understanding the market. So the other day, I put a post up from Alex Hermosi. I put it up on my social media post, and it talks about how everybody wants to compare to their competitors and price. They want to go and get 5 prices from their competitors. Well, first off, they call 20 competitors and only 1 or 2 answers. And they got this low price on this price of that they're answering on, right? And so now everybody else is going to go, well, I'm going to go cheaper than what he is, but I'm going to give better quality. And what they don't realize is the dude's out of business, right? The dude is going out of business because he don't know how to market himself. He don't know how to price. He don't know how to do anything. But yet we're going to put all our weight on what people want from them on there. So that is a big no-no of what we do not want to do. So you do not want to go out there and make it. Again, I know there's lots of pressure washers out there, but I want to tell you something. There's a lot of dirty stuff still out there, and there's a lot of clean stuff out there. And guess what? dirty stuff isn't always your customer, right? I know I'd say this a lot. Your customer may not want, I can remember pulling up on houses, and I've had DJ tell me, I had Mike tell me out of Lexington that they just did it this past last year in 2023, that they've each had 2 or 3 houses that they pull up on. It is completely clean. Like, you can't find nothing on it. You might find a bug on it. It's completely clean. You soap it down real quick. You don't even have to use soap, and then you rinse it. And a guy comes out and he's hysterical at how amazing and clean it is. Those are our customers. You can find customers out there that will have you come back 2 times a year, even if it's not dirty, and that's okay. It ain't got to be dirty, right? People go wash their cars when it's not dirty. They just want to make sure that it's clean. It might have one pot of bird poop on it that they want to make sure that it's clean. So that is why you're able to make sure that you are looking at and making sure that you're doing it. Now, the one thing I would tell you is if you're out west and you don't have a lot of mold, then that's a different part. And I mean like Arizona, places like that, then you may have to find other things to be able to clean to do this. Now, the number one reason why people go out of business, here's the number one reason, is financial management, right? Either they don't know their cash flow, they don't know their money in, money out, and hope for the best. And most of the time, the best ain't good because they're broke, right? And so if you don't know your financials, then how can you know how much it costs, or how much does it cost you to be able to make money? Do you even know? Do you know that is it going to cost you $15,000 before you ever start making any money, right? Or maybe it cost you $4,000 or whatever that cost might be. But a lot of you think that, it's just a pressure washer and bleach is all I need. And that's not all we need. There's a lot of other things that go into business. And so I was looking up some different places. And so Small Biz Trends was talking about not enough funds, right? Not enough funds in the business to be able to make sure that you can grow your business. And then PNC talked about not having a solid business plan, right? Or not having a business plan at all. Poor cash flow. You don't know what's coming in, you don't know what's going out, and that can definitely be something that can put you under really fast, and that's what we don't want to do, right? Well, that's not the goal. Next is ineffective marketing strategy. A lot of times I see people, they'll be spending a bunch of money on stuff and they're not tracking any of it. The reason why I know pressure washing on yard signs work better than house washing or roof cleaning or any of those other things is because I tested it, right? I put a different phone number on it and I tested, right? That's what you need to be doing. Testing. Does it work? Where are you getting your leads? You know what? You might be spending a bunch of money on Facebook or Google or yard signs, and you may not be getting the return back that you should be getting because you're not testing what is coming in. And so that is something that is important to make sure that we have an effective marketing strategy. The other thing is too, I see a lot of people, they will go out and they'll spend money and then they won't answer the phone. And that's the number one detrimental to your business. If you don't answer your phone, don't even go out and spend the $10,000 to get to $100,000 because it's not going to get you there. Because then you're going to say, well, Jason, you just don't understand. I ain't got no business. Well, you got business. You got to think about it. If your close rate is 50%, every phone call comes in and you don't answer it, that could be $500. If your average ticket's $1,000 and every time it rings, that's $500. Or maybe it's $300. Maybe it's $100 because you're too cheap to raise your prices. And so those are things that will sink you real fast of not having a good marketing strategy. And again, I'm not saying this, I seen this comment come through on Facebook today, and I didn't even comment on it. I read through all the comments on it. And the biggest thing that I see is actually, there was another one that I was reading here that said, it's an interesting stat, and I'll pull it up here. That only 79% of small businesses survive the first year. So 80% of people will die, 80% of businesses will close. Business owners under 30 of age are more likely to fail. So just think about that. Why do you think that they will more likely to fail? I've got ideas of why I think they will fail, but why do you think that they might fail? 44% of businesses fail because they run out of cash. Almost 50% of the businesses run out of business because they run out of cash. And so, when you look down through here and you see this 38, 30 to 30, then you know what that means? If you're under 30, that means you're going to have to work twice as hard. And a lot of times, a lot of people young don't want to work. And that's a problem, right? And so these are things that you have to think about as we are growing our business, because it's not one thing of, oh, Jason, you just don't understand. Oh, I understand. I know the data, right? That gives me the data that proves that 80% of businesses fail in the first year. That tells me that what I know and what you need to know is not knowing how to go pressure wash, right? You all worry about getting this big rig. You all worry about getting a $20,000 rig. You all worry about getting a $30,000 rig. Worry about getting a $10,000 rig. You got to learn how to run a business. It was talking in this article, which talks about electrician, that, the electrician wants to come and run his own business because of whatever reason. But he knows how to run wire amazingly. But running a wire isn't going to make your phone ring. It isn't going to happen with the customer services that you're going to have and the issues that you're going to have. So those are definitely things that you have to do it. And talking about customer service, you know what? If you provide amazing customer service, Palm Tree said he's 270 reviews. That's amazing, because you know what that tells all his customers? That he's amazing. Right? And so when you got 270 people say that you're amazing, that's amazing. I seen another conversation in here talking about customer service and retention. Is a lot of people were asking, do I need to worry about getting reviews on every job? Hell yes, you need to worry about getting on every job. You need to do it before, after. There's a reason why I've been showing you these review cards, because they're that important. If you start getting reviews, guess what? You will get jobs in that area. If you're not worrying about your reviews, you're not asking on it for the phone call on while you're on the phone trying to get it there. When the sales guy shows up, you're still not asking for the review. And then you just say, hey, technician, go out and try to get a review. He ain't going to try to get no review. He's going to be like, that's stupid. Guess what? You got to be relentless on this. You're not just handing them a card. You're saying, hey, give me that phone and I will help you get me a 5-star review, because they're that important to me. A lot of you won't do it because you're too worried about getting to the next job. That next job, I'm going to get another job in and may at $1,000, and you did five $200 jobs. Guess what? You're going to be broke and you're going to go out of business, because that's not what we want. And guess what? When we give amazing customer service, we offer tips. We're like, hey, we're just letting you know that it's getting wintertime and you may want to make sure that you don't freeze your faucets up, right? Or, hey, here's a spring tip to clean your pool up, to help clean your pool up. Or, hey, you know what? Here's how you can pressure wash your house if you want to. If you don't want to buy and they're going to look it up anyway, why not have a website that shows you how to do that kind of stuff? Guess what? It'll probably rank for you, and then people will start coming for you to be able to do this. And then discuss the consequences of neglecting customer satisfaction. If you have crappy customer satisfaction, we got a competitor here in Cincinnati. I don't know if he's still in business or not, but when I looked at his reviews, they actually, you know what? It's classical enough that I think I need to see if I can find his reviews on here, because one thing that you do not want to do, and like I said, I don't know if he's on here or not. I'll look it up here. If my computer will work right. Pressure washing, Cincinnati. So the review that he got, I will show it to you. I got to be careful on it because I don't want to get myself in trouble. But it's pretty classic. It's like I say, I don't know if he's still in business. He was in business for a long time, but I will show you the review that he got and how he responded to it. And I promise you, it's not a good way to respond. It's definitely not a good way to respond. I can't find it there. Let me see if I can find this one here. Um, Shoot, I can't find it, but it's pretty classic. Here, I'll pull it up this way. I got it in my slides here. Um, Pressure or marketing. This is worth the time of me finding this because this is pretty classic right here. Because I want you to see how not to respond to a respond. And so this is one that's in my class here. This is what's in my class. This is what I go through in my class. If you ever take my pressure washing class or my Christmas light class, this is part of the marketing stuff here. And I want to show you here because this is pretty classic here. Let me see here. Where's my reviews at? I got a lot of crap here. Sorry. Oh, this is one here. So if you have a review, if you have Google Ads, make sure it goes to a good page. You don't be like this guy and it goes to a page that goes to nothing. That's not what you want. Oh, here we go. This is the 1-star review right here. The worst experience I've ever had with a contractor. He left empty liquor bottles behind my AC, didn't realize I had cameras on him and the whole thing. Now, he had like 5 or 10 reviews and almost all of them were negative. It wasn't like just some of them. It was all of them. And this is how you should not answer a review. This is how not to answer a review. This is if you want to not have a business, this is how you don't answer a review, right? This is not way to answer a review. And so and this is why reviews are important, because if I'm a customer and I come look at this, I'm going to be like, next business, he can't control it. Because what I will also tell you is a lot of people always ask me, Jason, do I need to ask for every review? And yes. And actually, if you have 1-star reviews, I know it's going to hurt your feelings a whole lot, but in reality, it actually helps you out. There's studies out there that will tell you that if you have a 4.9 is actually better than a 5.0, because humanly we think that there's no way that you can be that awesome, right? Now, I know you can be that awesome, but I'm just telling you that, and people want to see how you react to when there is a problem. And so how you react to the problem is definitely the best thing that you can do to make your business better. And so that's something that as we look at this, that's how customer service can definitely be a way that will set you apart from everything else. And then talking about setting yourself different. Most people all try to do the same thing, all talk about the same thing. I talk about the yard signs, and some of you will go out and try to put your logo and 57 services on to try to differentiate yourself, and that's definitely not how you differentiate yourself. You know, some ways that you can differentiate yourself is answer the phone. Get them a quote out within 5 minutes after they call. Follow up the next day, follow up the 3rd day, follow up the 5th day, follow up the 7th day, follow up the 9th day, follow up the 10th day, follow up the 14th day, follow up the 18th day, follow up the 21st day. Well, Jason, do I really need to follow up 12 times? Yes. You know why you need to follow up 12 times? I'll tell you why you got to follow up 12 times. Because in my marketing class that I teach in my in-person training, did you know it takes most people on average of 11 times to close a deal? And you want to know why it takes 12 times, 11 times for people to close? Because we know that so talking about the DISC program, we know that 70% of people are a type S personality. Well, guess what a type S personality needs? They need follow-up. They don't want to be closed right away. That's the way they grow. That's the way their name is. That's the way their business is. And they ain't going to do it. And so they're not going to buy from you right away. Wow, imagine that. So guess what? You got to follow up, and that's the purpose about following up. And did you know that type C personalities won't buy right away either? So between type C and type S type personality is like almost 80% of the people. And guess what? you got to follow up with both of those types of personalities. And so if we only call them back one time, you're probably not going to get the job. It's that repeated following back. And that is what sets you apart. That is the things that will set you apart from all of your competition. So those are some things. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe. I'm trying to get to 50,000 people, and I've been trying for a long time, and I don't know what's ever happened, but my subscription has went kind of slow. So if you would subscribe, I would really appreciate that, and that would help me out. And so those are things that can help me out, and I would appreciate it. And so again, I don't want you to fail. Is owning a pressure washing business easy? No, it is not. You know, you'll see people like F-Bomb, right? And I'm going to pick on him a little bit. You know, there's people in here that don't spend no money on marketing, but they've been in business for 4, 5, 6 years. And guess what? They got a great reputation. And guess what? I see him on Facebook. I see him networking. I see him doing different things. That is what sets you apart. You know, are you going to the networking groups? You got to go meet people. If you're not busy, you should be meeting 5 new people every week. You need to know their name. You need to know their kid's name. You need to have an hour conversation with 5 people every week. But Jason, I'm not very good at this. Well, guess what? You know how you get better? By doing it. Because if you don't do it, it's not going to be easy. It's hard. Running a pressure washing business is hard because it's not about just spraying water. A lot of us think that, oh, we're just going to go spray water, Jason, and we're going to be the best pressure washer out there. I'll tell you, being the best pressure washer out there isn't going to grow your business. It won't. I promise you. You got to get out there. You got to network. You got to do marketing. You know, if you don't have no money, there's lots of ways that you can go and network with people for free. Did you know that? There's tons of ways. What's the one? I think it's pretty cool. I saw it. There's not one here in my area, but you know, the one is, it's called like 1 million cups or something like that. And you go and you talk, and it's a coffee thing. There's not one in Cincinnati. There's one in Columbus, and they're different areas, but that's a great place to go meet people. Maybe you go join the apartment association. You know, talking about Tristan, Tristan is a young guy. He's like, man, I'm getting all these apartment complexes. I'm like, what'd you do to get them? I joined the apartment complex or association. I was like, imagine that. I've been telling you to do it for 2 years. Oh, I know. And now he's got tons of apartment complexes because that's what it's all about. It's about going out there and getting it done. It's not easy. If you think it's easy, I promise you, David Watts would say it's easy, and it's not easy. How to converse with ones that don't like to talk. You know, and that's the number one thing that you got to do is learn how to communicate. If you don't know how to communicate, there's some great books out there to read on communication. The one book is from John Maxwell, and it's all about communication, right? I can't think of the name of the book. I'm actually reading it, but I can't think of the name of the book, and I'll tell you the name because I want you to know what it is. And the reason why I've actually read this book once time before, but Chris Johnson was on here, and so I did it. I read it again, so I'm going to read it again. Everyone communicates, few connect. It's a great book, John Maxwell. I'm on chapter 7. See, I've told you I'm reading it, and so I've started reading it again. I've already read it once, and I'm reading it again because you know what? I need to learn how to communicate better, and so those are things that I am working on to be better at. And that's how you can grow your business. So with that, I see you guys got lots of comments and stuff here. So I'm going to jump back up here and read some reviews or read some stuff. If you got any questions, definitely ask down here and I will help you get it. We're selling our skid. Why are you selling your skid for? I knew I just spent $5,000 on a bunch of crap and I'm terrified. I'm scared to start. Just need name and some marketing stuff. And so what I would tell you is if you spent $5,000 on pressure washing crap, you better spend $5,000 on marketing stuff because you're setting yourself up for failure. And I'm just telling you the way it is. You know, Last year, I've got a guy in my mentorship, not my membership, but my mentorship. And his goal was pretty lofty. I think it was 50,000. He ended up at 30,000. But you know what? He's a go-getter this year and he's killing it. And that's what it's all about. And so it's not about spending a bunch of money on equipment. It's all about spending money on marketing. Because if you can't get the phone ring, if you can't close jobs, it doesn't matter what kind of equipment you have. You can have the best equipment out there and it's not going to make you any money. I promise you, it will not make your phone ring. I will guarantee it. You know, there's reason why I tell people to go rent stuff. And I know I got a hater on one of my things the other day saying you can't rent a surface cleaner and pressure washer. I bet you can. I would guarantee I can go look it up right now and show you that I can rent a 4-gallon minute pressure washer and a surface cleaner. Only thing I need is a downstream injector that I can buy for 20, 30 bucks and an X-Jet for 70 or the spinny thing. And I can put that on there. And guess what? I can clean anything out there at this point. And guess what? It might cost me $200 for the weekend, but who cares? I can make $1,000 in that weekend and I'm not going $5,000 in debt. But you know what? You got to go out there, get those signs up, get those knocking on doors. You got to go out there and make things happen. Where can I find this equipment for sale? Need to set up another truck? Look, actually, there's quite a bit on the pressure washing pages and everywhere. Sticking with old concrete for first few jobs might help and get more comfortable. Because if you don't believe in what you're selling, it's hard to sell it. That's one thing I would tell you. Joined King of Pressure Wash last week. What I would tell you is make sure you get on those Monday night calls tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern time and ask questions. I know the one thing I would say is you can't ask a dumb question in that group, because if someone gives you crap, I will kick them out, because there is no dumb question. The only dumb question is the question you don't ask. And so those Monday night calls is where the gold is. I promise you. And you can go back and watch all of the Monday night lives, but the Monday night lives, usually I'm going to teach on a little bit, and then it's just about an hour and a half of just talking. And I get that there's some big guys in here and they all started where you did. Yes, we'll be talking about big numbers. Tristan's in there, Dan's in there, they're killing it, right? But guess what? They started out at zero in that group and asked a lot of questions. And if you ask a lot of questions, you will get your answers and you will grow your business. Got some good news from a publisher last week. Hope to release my first book this year. Maybe it will make Jason's book of the week. I need to do something. You need to send me some information on that. I'm committed for 10 years minimum. I love spraying water and making clients happy. It is a lot of fun. I have to agree with that. I took my home address off of Google My Business. Yes, it will help you get more business to have it on there, but there's a lot of people getting shut down because it's on there. So that's the issue with it. Mr. TC closed a $1,900 house wash. We love $1,900 house washes. Palm Tree, have you seen any ranking changes or any since you did? I've landed 3 jobs from yard signs that have paid all the yard signs I've ever bought in 3 years. Yep. You got to be relentless. I'm seeing more yard signs. All the competitors probably tired of the Google games. And you know what? You might have to spend money in Google. That's it. Sometimes you got to spend it in different ways. So those are different avenues of being able to get it. I don't really see a difference for the ranking. Half Dirty is where I close the highest, as they clean every other year. Just had a competitor call me this weekend for a concrete price. He kept asking me all about the signs I put out, worried he'd pull them all. He didn't know I knew who he was on the phone. And I will tell you, do not pull signs. You do not want to get in a war with a company, because a lot of times the little guys will all gang up on the big guy and start pulling them. And I know that there's a war going on in certain part of the country, that somebody's pulling a lot of yard signs. And I will tell you, it is not a good thing to do. I promise you will regret it in the end. I'm 8,000 in and still building. Don't spend money you don't have to buy things you don't need in order to impress people you don't need or don't know. And the biggest thing I would say on this here is I understand that you will buy chemicals, you'll buy all kinds of stuff that you will never use. You know, Jason Hefner, you had a whole shelf full that he bought all of this chemicals when he first started. And I told him not to do it, but of course he didn't listen to me. And guess what? He moved out of the house and he's still sitting there with full chemical because it's something that every Tom, Dick, and Harry wants to sell you a chemical of how awesome it is. And what you don't know is you might screw something up with it because you don't even know what you're doing with that chemical. You know, they make stuff look easy. They make it do it. But you know what? You might be screwed in the end if you're not careful. So be careful what you're dealing with that. You don't need a nice truck, equipment, uniforms, etc. People are worried about the wrong things. Yes, invest as you go, but it's not necessary to succeed. And I would agree 100%. My trucks, I only had one truck wrapped out of the 4, and that truck was an old Ford that blew 2 injectors. After the second injector, I got rid of it, never got another diesel. And all 4 of my trucks, none of them had anything on them. Nothing. Nothing on them. Sometimes I would take a zip tie a yard sign on the back of the truck, but other than that, that's all I had. I did try to do some uniforms or at least some shirts so that they didn't look terrible, because some that does look bad, but you can get those off Queensboro, I think it is, for like 10, 20 bucks a shirt, and they're Nikes or Under Armour or whatever you want, and they can put a logo on them. So that's something that you can do. I'm going to offer a free coffee card for 5-star reviews I earned. Thoughts? No, I wouldn't, because they don't care. Because if they say something like that, that can get you. Now, if you have employees, I would offer them $20 per 5-star review that they get, and they get their name on it, because that is something that will help you out tremendously. Share this live, please, Jason. I'm hanging with family. It will be on YouTube. So you can definitely check it out there, Christian. You don't compare yourself to competitors, but you can learn a lot by reading other bad reviews. Yep. All these changes with Google, I'm slowly getting back up to top 3 in my area. If you don't post or advertise, no one will see you or find you much less know you. Yep. That's why you should be posting. That's why you should be doing all of that stuff. My yard sign says my business name, pressure washing, and name and phone number. All you want it to say is nobody gives 2 raps about your pressure washing business, Michael. All you want it to say is pressure washing and a big giant phone number. Hello, everyone. Greetings from Chicagoland suburbs. I was just up there today. We went to Minnesota, and we drove back, and we stopped in at Wisconsin Dells. There wasn't much there for us that we wanted to do, so I said, let's go to Lake Michigan. So we went over to Milwaukee and went down and came down that side into Chicago and stayed there last night. Do you have a business plan template? I don't have one in that I give out for free. You only need 1,600 more subscribers. I know, I've only needed that for like 6 months now. That's me. I'm different, but I'm killing it as a business. How to conserve with one's, or how to conversate. Yes, there's Mr. Tristan. We have become successful due to us laser targeting, being laser focused. Remember, comparison is the thief. I want to hit on this one here. By being focused, right? A lot of us get squirrel syndrome, and I am included in this. It's real easy to get squirrel syndrome. And so if you can focus on what works, you will be amazed at how it works, because that's how it works. You know, if you can be like, hey, I am going to focus on yard signs, right? And I'm going to do it every week. I'm going to do it. That's awesome. Hey, I'm going to focus on my reviews. I'm going to make sure I get reviews, everything. That's how you're going to get more. Opinion on BNI groups. They can work really well. Make sure that you get into a large group and go 3 times before you join to see who's giving the referrals, because If you got a person that should be your referral partner and they're not giving you anybody referrals, they're not going to give you referrals either. So that's why you need to know. Knowledge, quality service, professional support, listening, gathering information, post, mentor, package deals, upsells, stop listening to fake information in groups, research, believe in yourself. You know, I would agree with this here is there's a lot of bad information in the Facebook groups. I hate to say it. There's people that I watch and they'll learn something today and then they're telling everybody tomorrow. I grew my business to $1 million and did I do it by never failing? No, I failed a lot. And what I would tell you is you're going to fail a lot in business. If you are afraid of failure in your business, and this is why businesses fail, because they're afraid of failure. Because the faster you fail, the faster you learn, the faster you grow. And you can't grow if you're not failing. I promise you, you will not learn off of being successful every time. I do the 26 steps to the perfect house wash. And the reason why I do the 26 steps to the perfect house wash is because every step on there got screwed up by me or my employees more than once, right? And so to keep it from not getting screwed up again, that's why it's a step into the 26 steps to the perfect house wash. Because when you screw up, guess what? You know that when you show up at the wrong house and you clean the wrong house and you've done it 2-3 times, well, guess what? Now, that's why we want to take a picture that we are at the right house, or we are asking to make sure that we are at the right house, and we're double checking to make sure that we're at the right house. Because the last thing you want to do is clean a neighbor's house and screw something up, and now you got to do it for free, and they wasn't even supposed to be there in the first place, right? Or don't park in the driveway. Now, I get some of you can't do this, right? We did a lot of subdivisions, so there was no reason to be parking in the driveway. Why? Because I cleaned a lot of oil and I've had my truck leak bleach down blacktop that I had to repave the blacktop, retar the blacktop because it screwed up the bleach. The bleach screwed up the tar. So guess what? Don't park in the driveway. That's what I learned. That was a $3,000 mistake that I learned. So guess what? I don't have my guys parking their driveway unless they absolutely have to. So those are the 26 steps to the perfect house wash were a lot of my failures. I'll tell you right now, if you're afraid of failing, you'll be part of the 80% that fail and won't grow and start a business and be out of business before you know it. So fail fast, learn, grow, and get back at it and fail some more and keep it going. Has anyone had good results with EDDM? I've had several people had good results with EDDM. I've had several people not have good results. The biggest thing is you got to do it 4 times. You can't just send it to one time out to 10,000 people and think you're going to get business. It is a long play. You got to send 4 different postcards out, and that 3rd and 4th postcard will be the ones that will make you the most money. Always promoting your business. Take before pictures before you set up, then pictures of videos between, and then after pictures, and post those pictures, right? That's to cover your butt, but it's also for pictures of taking pictures. How much is a picture worth? A lot of money. How much is a picture you didn't take? 0. So that's why it's important that you take pictures and you post them and you make things happen. You can rent 100%, $1,300 a month at Lowe's. I wouldn't touch EDDM until I maxed out yard signs, door hangers, 5 around networking, and local ads. And I would probably agree with that because EDDM is a pretty hefty investment of getting it wrong can put you out of business pretty quick if you ain't got that money to spend. Use that money to motivate yourself and go get it back. Market, and more marketing. I will be there. How long does GMB take to start getting consistent calls? I'm full speed with everything right now, doing okay so far. Your Google My Business is probably going to take about a year. That doesn't just happen overnight. You got to remember, a lot of these guys been, my Google My Business for my pressure washing store, or my pressure wash Cincinnati, it's still up and it still does really well. It probably does better than anybody else out there. And I haven't touched it in 5-6 years. I've sold the business 5 years ago and I haven't touched it since then. So that's why it is important that we do it. Pressure Wash Cincinnati. And I know a lot of people are like, you're crazy, Jason. I'm going to show you that how this works and how it does, because it's important that we go out there and we get it up there and we get it done, right? Because if we don't, you're going to lose money, and that's what you don't want to do, right? We want to make sure that it's getting promotion and it's getting all the stuff that we need to do. Let me see if I can sign into this one real quick, and I'll show you the result that it's getting from it. Manage your business profile. And so this is, like I said, this is the back end of my pressure wash Cincinnati, and I'll show you that, you know, I haven't touched this thing in 5 years, and it's still getting ranked. It's still getting phone calls. It's still getting everything that it needs. So since December to May, it's had 453 overall. It's had 41 phone calls. It's had 0 messages, booking, website clicks. It had 178 website clicks, right? And I haven't touched this thing in forever. And so that's what I'm talking about. You can see that the profile isn't even all the way up to date. I haven't touched it, but it still gets phone calls daily. And they went and screwed up the website. So the web Pressure Wash Cincinnati used to be ranked #1 right here, but they went and decided to put it to their stuff. And so now that don't even rank anymore. So that hurts my side of this here. But I wanted to show you that, hey, this thing still ranks and I haven't done nothing in it. So, I can go, we can go whatever, and you can see that it still ranks, it still gets phone calls, it still gets shown. And that's the most important part about it. And that's why you do your Google My Business. Is it going to happen overnight? No, it is not. It's going to take some time for it to get up there. We ain't going out of business over here. $1,400 average ticket last year was at 500. Sell packages. Amen to that, brother. That's awesome, Dalvin. $1,400 average ticket. That's amazing. Packages is definitely one thing you need to do. If you're not doing packages, I highly, highly recommend to do packages. If you want to get higher tickets, you got to do packages. If you're not doing packages, that's not good. Think in decades rather than months. We've been asking questions on Jason's Monday Night Call for 3 years. It's made us money. Dan, talking about kingofpressurewash.com at the membership. He's been in it for 3 years. They've come to 2 of my trainings, and they've Dan asked lots of questions. Actually, Dan gets asked a lot of questions now, so it's kind of funny. Thanks for the tips. Signs kill it for me. All I use, huge return every time. Yep, so go put more of them out. Hey, Jason, is there any surfaces you wouldn't surface clean? Yeah, decks. I wouldn't put a surface cleaner on a deck. Now, have I? Maybe. Have I had an employee screw one up big time? Yes. He let it sit there and spin on it, and that screwed it up. The other thing I would be careful too is the pool decking. What's it called? I can't think of the pool decking. I'd be careful on it too, because you can screw it up if you're not careful. I've had lots of yard signs get cut up. Yep, so you go put more out. I try to put my signs away from others. Actually, it's best if you put them right next to each other. Don't cover theirs up. Put it right next to it. So when they call one, they can call the other one, and probably the one ain't going to answer their phone. I've been in business for a few months now, and yesterday was the first day I made more in one day than I did at my job in a week. Thanks, Jason, for all the information. That's amazing. And that's the thing about it, right? You can make a lot of money doing it. We sell our biggest jobs from yard signs. Just finished a $12,000 from a yard sign. It's nuts. Got a lot of stuff to get started in the pressure washing business and never got going. Procrastination and analysis paralysis can kill you. Just start going out there and getting it done and go do it. I use magnets. It's doors and tailgates, nice for neighborhoods, and neighborhoods can easily get my number. No coffee cards. I wrapped my trailer and it's working. $3,700 made me some money. Good job. Finally, I make it. How's everyone doing? Bean. Can I connect normal DeWalt pressure washer to a water tank? Yes. What get measured, get results. Yes. Older, more experienced friend and mentor told me that a long time. What gets measured gets results. That is 100% true. How to close deals when knocking doors. Um, that's one thing that I know that several people do, and this does work, is when they do their 5 rounds, they'll actually do their 5 rounds before they get started. And what they'll do is they go around and knock on the neighbors' doors and say, hey, I just letting you know we're over here at the Miss Jones house here. We're getting ready to pressure wash. It might be loud. I just wanted to give you a courtesy knock to let you know that it shouldn't take too long, and then you can be in. And if you need anything, let me know, or you can give them a card and give them the 5 round. And so that's a way that you can kind of do that for the door knocking. I never did door knock. I do know people that have, and that works. The biggest thing is don't go to the dirty houses, go to the clean neighborhoods. I don't know if they're on here or not, but Matt and Destiny, they started last year and they door knocked a bunch. And so what they learned is they used to go to the dirty neighborhoods, and when I told them to go to the clean neighborhoods, they closed a lot more jobs. I following Benjamin Gregory. I am uploading daily to the Nextdoor, Facebook Reels, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and yard signs. Phone's ringing. All I can say is free advertising. Well, you must not be following him 100% because you should be doing LinkedIn, because that's where Benjamin gets most of his money, is off of LinkedIn. He makes most of his money off of LinkedIn, is where he gets most of his money at. And make sure if you do that, follow, you're commenting, you're doing all kinds of good stuff like that. Yep, clients ask me all the time to pull in the driveway. I just tell them, nope. You remember that guy that quit? Yep, I do. Oh, yeah, me either. Also, one main important thing with business insurance, make sure you ask the questions about what to do. And also auto commercial. Yep, I agree. I was wondering if you still post the packages you used to have, please. I was wondering if you still post the packages you used to have, please. I do post them. Jason, I want to come out to a Christmas light class. I'm in Southwest Michigan. What's the closest class you're going to have this year? Probably the I'm going to have another. I've got one coming up this weekend, but I ain't got a lot of people in it because I never pushed it that hard. It's going to be in Indianapolis. And so that one's coming up, but I will have some more in Indianapolis too. So it'll be Indianapolis will probably be your closest. I may have one in Michigan, maybe. I've got to find out what I'm gonna do. I might have one in Michigan with Jeremy up there, Pink Pro Wash. So that's not out of the question yet. So just so you know, I've been getting more customers through references and DoorDash, but I started with door knocking, and that helped me a bunch. Good. Almost forgot. Do you recommend joining the Chamber of Commerce in the areas near you? I do. That's a great way that you can do networking and go find stuff. If you're young, they have programs that will help you do stuff for free. If they can do all kinds of stuff that they do for helping small businesses, like the young entrepreneurs and stuff. If you're a black-owned business, they also have stuff that you can get for free too. And I know some people are like, I ain't taking nothing for free. Well, I tell you, I'll take whatever I can get, advice I can get, as long as I can test it and see if it's going to work. Right. And so that is something that I would consider. Here's a pro tip: watch the front of the house first. When you first start the machine, the noise will draw the neighbors, and then put on a show. It will dry before the customers come out to pay. Thank you for the advice. Also, a magnet on the car that has gotten me customers too. That is a great way. Jason, what do you charge for a one-time deep cleaning for a Chick-fil-A of gum? Also monthly. A lot. So gum takes you a lot longer than it. And even on the monthly, it's still going to take you quite a bit. Unless you get it down to every other week, you're going to be there for a long time because it gets pretty dirty within a month. I would probably be somewhere around probably 25-ish cents the first time, 25, 30 cents the first time, maybe even more, depending on how much gum removal they need or have. And then you can be down to maybe 15, 20ish. So that way you're kind of there. Will there be cheap people that are cheaper than that? Probably. Just because that's the way it is. Come back to the PNW. Man, I was there and I had a heck of a time getting people there to that one too. Nobody wanted to show up. Hey, man, I opened my very humble and small pressure washing business a week ago. Yes, a week. I have a potential life changing contract in my hands, 3711 locations. How would you tackle this? I would try to figure out what you're going to need and how long is it going to take you. If you can figure out what they were paying and see if it's going to be worth it or what their budget is, and then I would kind of go from there. You know, when you're talking about something like this that's reoccurring, are we talking about once a month? Are we talking about once a week or once every other week? What are we talking about? You know, a lot of times you'll get down into the 10, 15 cents range, and it might not sound like a lot of money, but over time, the lifetime value of that customer is where that money is really at. So that's kind of where those big guys are able to do it kind of cheaper, and then that's what they end up doing. I'll take all positive movement with my business. Hey, that's exactly right, man. Um, you know, don't turn something down. You know, I've given stuff away for free to people. You know, my last class guy asked me, is he's like, man, I ain't got the money, and I'm like, can you come up with half of it, right? And he took action, and I'll help some people out every once in a while. Sometimes I won't, but most of the time, if you ask, you have not because you ask not. That's the biggest thing I'll tell you. So whether it's pricing, whether it's something you need, you have not because you ask not. I have very little experience and haven't even done a single driveway yet. Um, Are you 19? Send me a message. You can send it to me on Facebook. Find me, Jason Geiman, or you can send it to this phone number here, this 859-696-1101. Send me a message and I'll see what I can do to help you out. Where's my phone number at? Sign up text. Again, if you didn't know this, oh, wait, it's not there? Shoot. Um, Here we go. So text King to 859-696-1101 to sign up. For you, just send me a message on this phone number here, and I'll see if I'll answer it. I'll try to get back to you and see if I can help you in any way I can help you. Um, and we'll go from there. 815, I charged $1,200 for Chick-fil-A, and they told me it was too much. A lot of fast food is lowball. Yep. Google local ads have been amazing this year. Yep, I agree. A bunch of people. The biggest thing I'll tell you on these Google local ads is if you don't answer your phone, don't even do them. You're wasting your time because they're not going to send you nothing. If you don't answer your phone 2 or 3 times, they won't send you no leads. I was thinking this job would take 2 months, haha, at least with my current equipment. In my first 4 months, I had 92 Burger Kings every quarter, but each location cheaper than a residential driveway. I ended up letting it go. Yeah. Sometimes it's just a lot of work and you're not making no money. The KFC's having the air call me for years. I don't even respond anymore. They don't want it done so cheap. Yeah. Just turned 20, over $115,000 a year just pressure washing. Don't believe the lie that you're too young. Family can be your biggest haters. You know what? I have much respect for you, Devin. That's pretty awesome that you've done $115,000 and you're only 20 years old. And you're right. Sometimes the biggest critics is your family that they tell you should be going to school. You can't make no money doing it. And you can't listen to them, right? And I know it's hard, but it's definitely something that you can do. And it's very awesome to see you succeeding. And if you keep that attitude going, you will be in very well off places and you will do amazing things. And so that is definitely something that I don't, that's why I've been posting a lot of positive stuff and about fear. And someone posted on it me the other day saying, man, that's really hit me hard today. So I didn't know if it was getting much traction or not. A lot of times I don't get a lot of comments or anything, but I've been posting it, and it's nice to see. It's nice for me to hear that it helps you all out. And so, my goal is to help you grow. My goal is to set your life apart so that, maybe you can do something. I wish I was 20 years old and had $115,000 pressure washing business already. That would have been amazing. And the things that you can learn, don't ever think that you know it all. That's one thing I'll tell you. Don't ever think that you know it all, because you don't. I promise you, you don't know it all. And so I don't know it all. There's people in here making $1 million and they don't know it all either. And if they think they do, that's when you start failing pretty quickly. So just go out there and keep killing it. That's amazing, dude. So again, if you didn't know, you can text King 859-696-1101. This is whenever I go live, I'll text it out to you. Also, if you haven't joined King of Pressure Wash, I highly recommend it. It's something that you should do. Right now, I don't have no in-person classes up right now. I will be having a Christmas light, some stuff coming up for Christmas lights. I'm going to be having an advanced class coming up in June. I should have those details out tomorrow. If you haven't checked out christmaslights.io, that's where you'll find that at. Yes, you are. Please keep posting. That's why I am successful. The best knowledge is the knowledge you don't know. Yep, exactly. I watched four guys do a McDonald's in my area, and they got paid $450 to clean the whole place. It took them 6 hours or more with four guys. I just laughed coming back from a $1,500. One job probably took 3 or 4 hours. So that's the thing about focusing on what types of jobs that you want, right? But other than that, I hope you all have an amazing week. I am planning on posting more stuff. I'm planning on posting more pressure or Christmas light stuff too. Permanent lighting. I've been kind of playing out there of starting a permanent lighting business and kind of doing a behind the scenes of how to do everything and how to get everything up and running. So that's definitely something that I want to show everybody how to do it. Y'all pay your tithes to the Lord. He blessed you beyond measure for the obedience. I give, here's the thing about that too. I'll hit real quick is you can't outgive him either, and you'll learn that the more you give, the more you get back. And it's pretty amazing. And so Devin, that's really awesome that you posted that. I appreciate that. Looking forward to starting up for new equipment. Can't seem to find anything local in Miami. Consider driving to Russ to pick up and save $1,700 on shipping. What do you suggest? I probably wouldn't do that because that's a long haul and you're not going to save that much. I would look at Manatee down there. They're probably one of the cheapest places to get it, and they have great customer service and everything. Manatee Pressure Washer. They're out of right outside of Tampa, I believe, or south of Tampa, Sarasota area. And they'll take care of you too. They won't sell you more than what you need. So I would definitely look at that for sure. Good deal. Hopefully I'm going to meet you and Donovan this year. So, all righty. Well, I hope you all have an amazing week, and we're going to jump off here, and I'll see you all later.